As is often the case on Fridays, we have a lot to get into. We'll talk a little bit about the eviction yesterday, the new HOH. We have the Wildcard winner as of this recording, and we'll sort of set the stage for where it looks like the nominations are going as of right now.
Yeah, we will be back tomorrow with another video that will talk more about the nominations, more about the vetoes, stuff like that.
Okay, well, before we get into anything more here, there's this button that says subscribe that is, right down there with the video, and it is just being like, don't you want to press me? Okay, just hit the subscribe button. Please don't make me do that terrible voice ever again.
Oh, let's all make him do that voice
again.
Oh,
no, nobody wants that or needs that. Also, check out our other videos on American Horror Stories, really crazy episode this week, and also The Blacklist, which we just published earlier today.
And speaking of weird voices, my throat is hurting a little bit. I'm getting a little bit sick, so Matt is going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this video. Thank you for helping me out.
No problem. And, okay, well, we'll have a little fun here with the unceremonious exit of Brent from the game. I did shocker everyone. Brent is gone.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even surprised either.
Brent, okay, this is all I gotta say about Brent. Goodbye. I don't want to spend any more time on you. Of course, you always know everything. You're not surprised. It's just like, can you just show 1 ounce of, I don't know, genuine human emotion, please?
Yeah, I'm done with Brent. So,
okay.
Christian won the HOH. Let's be moving forward here. Yeah. So, we have someone who is not part of the cookout, who has won the HOH, so could be interesting.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this with the cookout, where, I think we're both, Jess and I both are very much team cookout. I think we enjoy a lot of the players, but I think it's important for every good Big Brother player to experience a little bit of jeopardy. To me, it's a much bigger achievement if the cookout manages to all collectively survive this week and none of them get evicted when they don't have somebody who is within their alliance in power. They can put that on their resumes later on.
Yeah, I think that you have to be challenged a little bit by the time you get to the end. If you're just kind of steamrolling over everything, then you're Cody, and then you've won at the end, and you've been insulated the whole time, and it's not as exciting. You need to have people in power that are not part of your alliance and still manage to stay.
I am going to put the blame on somebody for Christian winning HOH. So if you guys are really mad about Christian winning HOH, it's my fault. And
I know saying, you put that out into the universe.
When Julie was reading out what the competition was, I was watching Christian's eyes, and there was a fire that was in this man's eyes, and I was just like, that dude is winning, even though that same dude after the fact was trying to act like, oh, I didn't understand all the rules. I didn't quite know what was going on with the comp. I don't know if I believe you, Christian.
Just stop it, Christian. Just stop it. Just take your win, go to your HOH room, and bring Alyssa with you.
I am not going to watch that HOH room. I am not going to think about that HOH room over the next week. I am putting that out there right now.
Yeah.
I will say this in Christian. This is the only thing I say in Christian's defense. When I was kind of watching the end of the competition, I wasn't sure exactly how it worked either, and I think that was probably I was probably just so caught up in the frenzy of the competition because I get into a weird different gear when watching live HOHs that I wasn't really paying attention to what Julie was saying, so I was kind of there at the end being like, I don't actually know who's supposed to be HOH of this group. It just felt like he was doing a lot, and it felt like a lot of other people and other teams were just like,
But here we are. He's the winner.
Yeah. So this is where we are right now, and right after the competition, I think we got a further sense of Whitney.
Yep.
We all sort of know that Whitney. She in danger this week, depending on what's going on.
Yeah, so she's already thrown Kylan under the bus. I think she knows that she needs to start running the bus over people.
Yeah, and she's going and saying that, Kylan may be shady or there's something off about him to Alyssa. And I think that Whitney is doing this because she's told Kylan previously that she would go after Christian and Alyssa, so I think she's getting really paranoid that, Kylan's gonna go and be Whitney said this. She said she would put you up, and now she's trying to like paint this picture of, oh, you can't trust Kylan. Kylan's gonna say all this like crazy stuff in the house.
That's right, and sometimes that does work. If you're the first person to sort of make that trust and build that bridge, then when the second person comes around, you're already wary of that person, whether you really are or not. It puts a bug in your ear.
This is gonna be what's so interesting about this week, and why I think it's gonna be better than the last two if you like chaos, is just that Whitney it doesn't seem like she really has anybody, but at the same time she is not a grade A heel to everyone in the house like Brent, so there's a little more value in keeping her there than Brent.
Okay, so let's talk about the wild card. So yes. Claire and Whitney were joined by Azza, and they all played the wild card seemingly.
Yeah. Azza, we're not 100% on. It sounds as though Azza was taking part, but, Claire and Whitney, they were there. They were ready to go kind of by default, but you know what? It doesn't matter.
None of it matters because Claire won, and she has at least 2 weeks of safety.
Okay, there's a lot to discuss here because it sounds like Claire took whatever sort of victory came with winning the wild card. We don't have any word on the punishment yet.
No, but it seems that she has taken it, which, this point in the game, you might as well. I mean, why not? Unless it's really gonna hurt your alliance or hurt your game. So she's a good game player. I think if it was something that was really gonna put a target on her, she wouldn't. My guess is that it wasn't gonna put too much of a target on her.
I give her credit for taking it. Like, I spent a lot of time. I know it actually hasn't been that much time since the wild card was over, but I spent however much time between then and now being like, did Claire make the right move in taking this? Because ultimately, yes, she did. I agree with you. It is just like, you don't know what's going to happen a week from now. And yes, it could put a target on her back later that she got to be safe for a little while longer.
Yeah, but we also saw that Frenchie decided not to play for 2 weeks of safety, and he went out that second week. So Good for you, Claire.
Yeah, and it's also sort of a situation where, if she's safe for this week and for next week, then, my math could be wrong here, but she might be safe until jury, and that means, if you're a super fan of the game, like, you want to leave an impact, and I know that Claire is going to actually win this season, and I say this because I picked her preseason, and nothing else is acceptable, but, I'm sure she may not know this yet, and she just wants to make sure that she's a part of it until the end.
All right, let's talk about possible nominations now.
Oh boy, this is already going to be a dumpster fire of misinformation and confusion, so let's just start with that.
Yeah.
So Christian's initial plan, and this may end up being the nominees, but his target may change 1,000 times. Who knows? It seems as though Whitney and Hannah are probably going on the block, and initially he preferred Whitney to be the person to go.
Yeah, but this morning, he's kind of second-guessing things, and I mean, that happens to a lot of HOHs. This is really kind of the first week where it's not really clear who Christian's target is going to be or who the target is.
Yeah, and when he started to second guess it a little bit earlier, Xavier was there, and Xavier really earns his paycheck as an attorney. I'm just going to put that out there because he comes in with the opening arguments and tries to find a way to sort of steer this ship back over to Whitney being a target. Good on you, Xavier.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know how much it worked or how long it worked because, it already seems like it might be shifting back to Hannah again.
Yeah, everything is still really in flux.
The thing is, ultimately, the cookout, if they all stay together, they're going to have a lot of votes and sort of determining things. They're going to have a lot of power. I think that Hannah's going to be safe if she remains on the block versus Whitney.
I think so. I mean, they really do have the votes right now. So, I mean, they have enough that they'd be able to sway it the way that they needed to sway it. But, it also still has to look a certain way for Christian. They don't need to reveal that they have a huge voting block if it's going another way. Would they let Hannah go? Probably, even though they don't want to.
I'm going to state my dream now. This is a season full of dreamers. We almost had a dream scenario where Brent was totally blindsided, but some people ruined that. But anyway, my dream this time around is that Christian, if he wants Hannah out, he spends days thinking this, and then boom, Hannah stays at the last second. Christian is not eligible to compete in the next HOH.
Yeah, and then Alyssa wins, because that's what happens in Big Brother.
No.
It is. Don't pretend like it isn't.
You
Put
know
on
what?
your hard hats.
What makes this probably even worse is that we're probably getting an endurance as the next HOH, and if it's like that pirate ship thing, Alyssa's going to be really good at that.
Yeah, she probably will be.
So, yeah, that is a definite fear, but I just think it would be kind of fun right now. But, okay, why Christian is worried so much about Hannah? Like, this is a fascinating discussion point within itself.
Yeah, he thinks that other people will go after Whitney anyways, but he's worried because Hannah's really smart.
Yeah, okay, this is the thing. Me as a person, as somebody who wants a certain brand of entertainment in the house, and somebody who's kind of shipping Hannah and Derek X, I want Hannah to stay in the game, but I get where Christian's coming from. I would actually be much more worried long-term about Hannah in the game than I would be Whitney.
I agree. I agree.
It's just, even if
Hannah's making some good connections. She is very smart. I mean, Whitney's kind of, she's made a couple connections, but nothing as strong as what Hannah has going on.
Yeah, it's like, Ozza and Tiffany have even already said that they don't think Whitney is loyal to anyone really in the game. That makes her sort of a little bit of a free agent, theoretically, unless Whitney suddenly becomes, I don't know, the second coming of Janelle and starts winning a bunch of competitions. I think that she's going to be able to be taken out later.
You cannot compare those two.
I am not saying that she is Janelle.
Oh my God.
She does not have...
I am sorry, Janelle. Please don't stop watching us.
I said, unless she can become Janelle, which... You do not, I'm sorry, Whitney, you do not have the capabilities of becoming Janelle. I have not seen any evidence of it.
Okay, I'm going to reel this video back in now. Christian has talked to Hannah and has more or less told her that she's going up.
Yeah, ultimately, he's obviously trying to cover his hide. He's trying to schmooze, do whatever he can in order to make it all feel A-okay. Yeah. And I do understand that. I don't feel like Christian is the best player of all time, but I don't think he's like aggressively unlikable or he's terrible socially. I think he can kind of get his point across without people being too furious at him.
Except this is where it comes in, that Brittany could end up becoming the target depending on who wins the veto.
Yeah.
You want to have somebody furiously mad at you, then throw Brittany's name out there.
Yeah, I think, there's probably a part of Christian that's like, whoa, I do not want to win the next veto because I will have won so many competitions. But here's the thing, Christian. If you put Brittany on the block after this week, Ozza will be probably even more mad than Brittany once again, and I do not want Ozza mad at me.
I just don't want to see Brittany back on the block again. The house, it is tough. This game is tough. She's already been on the block a bunch of times. Like, just go after someone who's a real target now.
Here's where I think things could be fun in the rest of this season. Well, not even the rest of this, just the rest of this week is that, let's say, hypothetically, noms remain the same, and we're in a situation where Hannah stays, but maybe this actually exposes the cookout on some level so much earlier than anyone in the cookout was expecting, and that sort of creates a counter-resistance that we would not expect either.
Yeah, it's just, can the other side of the house come together for that? I don't know.
Yeah, like, there's like a tiny bit of Big Brother 20 vibes where we had, like, that one alliance that did really, really well, and then we had, I hate to say it, Faute, who just Faute'd their way and just, like, destroyed their own game in the process.
That was hilarious.
That was probably the most entertaining steamroll we've ever had in Big Brother. If we get something else like that, I won't be that mad. But okay, that is where we are right now. We'll see what happens with nominations. We'll be back to discuss that, the veto, all sorts of other stuff tomorrow. But, of course, let us know what you think about Christian's HOH, the plans for the week, so much more in the comments. And also, Subscribe! I won't do the voice again. Check out our other coverage.
Do the voice. Hit
the button. Okay, there we go. Also, check out the Power Book 3 cover. Okay, I sound like Mickey Mouse now. I'm gonna quit this while I'm ahead. I don't actually think I'm ahead, but I'm gonna quit this anyway. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you here next time.